He just gets it, guys. Two new Paul Munko Designs, one from Kizer, one from Bestech. I've been very excited to do this video, and let's jump into it. This is the Bestech Constellation. Again, Paul Munko Design. Thank you, Bestech, for sending this along, Constellation. And there is your number. And then this is the Kizer Mini Mystic. And again, thanks to Paul Munko for sending this out to me, the designer. Very, very cool. And welcome to the Knives Fast channel. Let's jump right in. Now, you guys know in the past, I've reviewed, I don't know, several Paul Munko designs. The concept, is it the Comet, the Mystic, the full-size Mystic, from Kizer, and I think, there might be another one, but I can't remember. But last year at Blade Show 2024, I went to Paul's booth, and I got to see the Constellation prototype, and I was super excited and told him, when these come out, I definitely want to check it out. Well, I didn't even know there was a Mini Mystic coming, and it just so happens that both of these are out at the same time, so we're going to jump into them together. These will be reviews, so this is going to be a little longer video, indeed, but all is good. So, guys, I loved the full-size Mystic, and if you remember that one, I believe, am I going to forget? I think it's a liner lock. Boy, I'm going to have to go look. We'll make a little break in here somewhere, and I'll take a look so I don't get that wrong for you, but I believe it was a liner lock. Now, this guy is obviously a clutch lock, and because we've gone, move my light a little bit here, with the acrylic version, this is aluminum, this is acrylic, we can now actually see through to the clutch lock, and you can see it's on what I would say from left to right, the second notch. Very cool. Or it could be, if they do it the other way, it could be the fourth notch, but it's okay. You can see the stop pin here. I think that's pretty cool, actually. You can see the inner workings of the clutch lock system as you work it. Now, of course, the base of a clutch lock is a spring, and this bar moves, the bar engages with the lock face up here, and that's how that works, which is really cool. And that is your spring right there. You can actually see, if I get my fingers out of the way, the spring moving in and out. But anyway, beautiful aluminum, raw aluminum with these lines here. You do have a reversible deep carry clip with a little bit sticking out. Typical Kizer clip, sits on top, flat screws, plenty of room, good retention. You do have a Kizer logo. Very cool there. You do have a backspacer with a lanyard pin in a really cool spot. Nice open construction. You do have milling on the liners, full liners, by the way, steel liners. So not partials, full steel liners with the scales sandwiched over the top. And you can actually see the notch here and how the scales are fit together to make this work. So this screw is putting pressure on the front part of the acrylic, and that screw is holding the acrylic. That is pretty cool. Indeed, screw back here as well as the pocket clip screws, but really cool. Lots of milling. Now, this is smaller, guys, so I was a little worried. How's this going to work? Oh, by the way, let's do this first. You got satin finish on the blade, really wicked harpoon, swedge here. Great place for your thumb. Jimping here if you land back here. There's your Paul Munko logo. There's your Kizer. And we have Nitro V Mini Mystic, okay? Now, back to this. So, I was a little worried about enough room. Now, the thing is, you can see here, I can kind of choke up like this, and I have plenty of room. Or, I can kind of come below that a little bit. Now, I am going over this hump right here. For people with small hands, you're going to fit a little bit better in there. For me, I'm coming over the top. But guess what? It still feels really smooth and nice. Now, it does end up with a little more of a flat spot right here that feels a little chunkier because it's not quite as, this is chamfered here. You see this? And this is flat. Okay, so if they had chamfered that just a little bit, this would be absolutely magical, but it's good. Now, the way I've been holding it for cutting, which we're going to do a little cutting right now, but the way I've been holding it for cutting is up here, and then I'm in plenty of room back here, and that actually feels magical. Very nice thumb position here, and you can see This guy is a get it done kind of cutter, small knife. I was too close to the stinking mat here, but anyway, there you go. Very, very cool. Nice knife. I really enjoy it. Now, it is on bearings. And guys, you know, clutch locks aren't always my favorite, but if there's a couple of companies that just get them right, and Kizer is one. Now, you can see here, great. Now, thumb studs also put you in a good position to line up and just flick it out, and that works really, really well. You can see now, this guy is strong enough with the spring that it ain't coming out, okay? And I don't like clutch locks when they feel smushy, and this one, or mushy, and this one does not, okay? Again, really good free action here on those bearings. Kizer action, guys, it just is. Really, really nice. Now we have a very good sharpening choil. You can see your plunge actually is very gradual and comes out to about where the tip of my thumbnail is there, but I think you're fine for sharpening for quite some time. Very cool knife overall. Now, when we're locked up, no blade play, no lock rock, nothing happening there. You can see we're dead center. Now, we do come out close to the end, not quite. You could have come a little bit more, but again, don't forget that back spacer is angling up, so it could have been like maybe 1/2 millimeter or something longer. It's fine, and it doesn't have that look like we got a blade to handle ratio issue here at all. Now, the jimping is good as well. Again, good chamfers up in here. I just wish this was chamfered just a little bit more, but man, I mean, come on. This is a fantastic little knife. Now, as far as specs and all that good stuff, now this, by the way, both of these, excuse me, I almost got that wrong. This guy is a budget knife. The second one I'm going to show you is not. The Mini Mystic is in Nitro V, and this is acrylic and aluminum for $79.95. There is a 154 version. I'm sorry, $75.99 is the price on this one. The burlap micarta and Pate version with 154 cm is $79.99, and the Nitro V with aluminum and burlap is $75.99 as well. So some really cool versions indeed. Now let's talk specs real quick, and we'll do our comparisons at the end with both knives. This guy is designed by Paul Munko, of course, both are 7.58 inches overall, thumb stud deployment, clip point blade, 3.2 inch blade with a 0.12 stock thickness, but we have a tall enough blade that we'd come down pretty dang slicey. 4.38 inch handle, a reversible clip, 2.98 ounces. The hardness of the steel is 60 to 61. All right, Mystic, come over here to the side, and let's jump over to the Bestech Constellation. Now, I'm going to kind of just jump right into this one with, we're going to jump right into this one with the specs and the info, and then we'll go backwards, okay? So this is in titanium and carbon fiber, okay? It is a bolster lock, frame lock. It has a thumb stud and a flipper. It is in Magna Cut, okay? And again, Paul Munko Design, and it's got this wicked tanto, but it is not a compound ground tanto, which is, you know, I can deal with that. And I know you guys know tantos aren't always my favorite, and this is a slicey, and you will see in a minute, it is fantastic. Okay, now this particular one is 246. Then there is a version with, I think that is the dark matter gold fat carbon, and that one is 280. And then there is also a black out version. By the way, the dark matter gold has black blade and a gold pivot collar. Black blade, black bolster, gold pivot collar. And then there's a blackout version with black pivot collar, black hardware, and black Damascus, and that is 238. So that's actually the least expensive version, but this one's pretty close at 246. Now, as far as specs and all that good stuff, This is in Magna Cut, 7.244 inches with a close length of 189, sorry. Blade length of 3.055 with a 0.118, so thinner, but it's not as tall of a blade, so you got to go a little bit thinner so you can get that nice thin grind. You do have a wicked swedge up here, and I love the thumb ramp, guys. We'll talk about that more in a minute. 63.8 HRC, 63.8, go Bestech, 73.8 grams, 73 grams on the weight. Okay, fine. All right. They're going to force me to get my scale out here just to give you that because I can't do conversions in my head. 2.61 ounces, okay? So very, very nice in that regard. I am good with that for sure. Now let's get into it. So this flipper tab has really great shape, and you got a great relief here to get into that flipper tab. And literally there's jimping here, but what I would tell you is you are looking to hit that corner of this flipper and just snatch it. That is the way to do it. Again, you can just do it like any flipper tab, but I love this flipper tab. It is low enough, small enough that it's not a pocket pecker or any issue. Now you have some great relief here for that flipper. That is just wonderful. Very thin handle right here. Great chamfers. Paul gets the chamfers. Look at that. Again, very cool indeed. Beautiful blade. Bestech logo here, Paul Munko logo there, Magna Cut. It is a bolster lock. You do have a titanium bar with a steel insert, okay? Your relief is on the inside. There is a little bit of weight relief through here. Full back spacer with a lanyard loop, okay? And your clip is a tie clip. With a little bit sticking out. It is not reversible. Sorry, lefties. Now your thumb studs. Okay, let's get into the only really kind of, it's not negative. It's just something for me. When a knife is small, sometimes, now this one feels like I don't really have a problem. I can get down to the bottom and I can hit that thumb stud really well. This one, the thumb stud is just a tiny bit lower. Again, neither one of these studs are in the cutting path, by the way. Tiny bit lower, and this is really thin, so my grip ends up being further down. And again, I can still control this knife. So that's when I start worrying, is when I have to come way down to do a thumb stud, and I can't control the knife. We'll look at another one in the next few days. Yeah, I'll just show it to you. The CJRB cane, I have some real issues deploying this one comfortably. But this guy, there's enough heft back here. I'm not really having that problem. And you can see I can even middle finger flick it off the stud. It is, yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely good. The detent is fantastic. Really good detent. Really nice. I mean, really nice. Good lock bar access with a chamfer. Really well done. You can see on bearings, whoo, this is a not heavy knife, and that smoothness is just wonderful. This is great. Love the pivot collar. Very nicely done. Now we are dead center, and this time we are way out to the end, which I love. And you can see no blade play, no lock rock. And this guy, guys, I'm just telling you in advance, is a ridiculous cutter until you go down to the sharpening choil. But it is fantastic, which is why I don't really care that it's a Tanto. Usually, I can't hold the cardboard now. I made it too small. But anyway, my point is, Tantos usually bother me, but I gotta tell you, this is just slicey. You got a little bit of belly here, and then you got a lot out here. Yes, you do have a secondary tip, but because it's not compound, I don't have any transition issues at all. And heck, when you sharpen it the first time, you're probably gonna, if you're like me, you're probably just gonna take that hump right, that secondary tip right out. But if you do like, the secondary tip can be used to get down into a package instead of tipping way down like this. So really super interesting. Let's get our comparisons out here. So there are these two together. You can see the Kizer Mini Mystic is a little bit bigger than the Constellation. The Constellation is a decent, oh, by the way, I forgot to do that. Sorry. 4-finger grip, guys. You can see very nice. I'm between here and here. I've got a great control. Now, I will say same deal here. It does right here get a little bit flat. Again, huge chamfers all the way back. And then right here, it's a little square and 90 degree. I just wish there was a chamfer here and here. If there was, both of these would just be one. Those are my only nitpicks with either knife. Just that little chamfered area, and that's it. So they're great. Those would be a little bit better. Now, there is your Ontario Rat 1, which is larger than both, and your Ontario Rat 2, which is about the same size as the Constellation. And guys, super cool Paul Munko Designs. I said at the beginning, he just gets it. He really does, and he gives you places. Look, we've got a harpoon here. We've got a thumb ramp here. I mean, he just gets it. By the way, your sharpening choil is fine and dandy on this one as well. So what are your questions? What are your comments? What do you think of these? Let me know down in the comments. Give me a like as well. Definitely thank you for watching. Sorry this is a little bit longer, but you know, two really cool knives. Wanted to make sure I gave them good time. By the way, people have mentioned, I almost forgot to say this, wow, I really love the Constellation, but it's way too expensive. And I'm not going to deny that you're right, okay? What you need to bear in mind, I'm just wiping this guy here. After I cut with them, they just look kind of what you need to bear in mind with the Constellation is Bestech is a third-party company, just like Tempest or others. They don't make the knives. They have others make them, or at least that's the way I understand it. And so that price is going to be a little bit higher. Bestech is always a little bit higher, but I can tell you it's really good. It's up to you on the price. You know, 238's not bad for high HRC MagnaCut, or wait, this was 243, I think, but this is beautiful. And by the way, contoured, and this one is also a little bit contoured, but this one's a lot more contoured. So really nice knives overall. Let me know what you think, and thanks to Paul and Bestech for sending these along. And guys, please definitely make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification bell, and thanks for watching the Knives Fast channel.